was the iPhone 15 Pro Max worth it? This is the 3-month later review, but you know what? It's really nice outside, so let's change up the scenery. All right, so we're outside now and it is so cold, but the snow is beautiful and I love the view here, so I wanted to just show off a little bit of the HDR, the cinematic mode on the camera. And you know what? Speaking of the camera, let's get right into the specs. Also, during this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the problems of the phone. So first, we're going to talk specs, we're going to talk what I like, and then at the end, we're going to talk about some issues I've had with it. Also, the overheating thing and like camera and all that. So okay, we'll get to it and some issues I've had at the end, and if it's worth it. But right now, let's talk about specs. So the specs, A17 chip, 6.7 inch, 120 Hertz ProMotion display. It's OLED. The 6.1 inch of the Pro, also same display. And you have triple cameras, main camera, wide angle, ultra wide, and a 5x zoom on the Pro Max. The regular size has a 3x, just like last year. The front camera also has autofocus, which is really good, and you've probably seen it in some of my other videos. Now, I have the blue titanium color. I also had the natural titanium, which you can see in another video here where I unbox the phones, the normal size and the Pro Max. Like, subscribe, there's more videos coming. And this is the one I decided to stick with. Now, some other specs. The Pros have a USB-C port just like the regular ones do, but the Pros support USB 3.0, faster speeds, which means you can use an external hard drive when recording, but also for transfers, and you get really quick speeds. And so when I film these videos on my phone, I am able now to just transfer it straight to an SSD, no problem, and then get it to my Mac and edit them. So that's been a huge game changer for me because I use it for my work, and that's been really great. Now, other people who don't make YouTube videos off their iPhone might not find it as useful, but I also have this external mic plugged right into my phone, so it's really convenient for someone who uses it more professionally. Now, speaking about the cameras, I think the performance has been fantastic. Low light performance has been really good on the main camera. The 5X is a little bit finicky, I will say. Sometimes it will want to switch back to the normal wide angle, the main camera, in low light, even when you're zoomed in past 5X. And so you kind of have to fiddle with it just to get it to stay in 5X. Or just in general, it'll get a little bit confused sometimes. So I wish there was a button just like when you get really close to a subject and it switches to that macro mode, you can just switch off macro to do the same thing for 5X, lock it into 5X. When taking videos, in some cases, if you start the video with the 5X camera, you cannot zoom down into the 1X camera, the normal wide angle. You have to stay 5X or higher. And the same thing applies in the reverse. So if you start a video on the main camera, you cannot zoom into the 5X sometimes, but then sometimes it will. I'm not sure why that happens. You can leave in the comments if you know why. So camera performance, really good. I do like it. Does use quite a bit of battery, and that's unfortunate, especially when taking videos, but it is better than previous years. So keep that in mind if you take a lot of videos on your phone. Now, I record most videos in either cinematic or 4K 60, and I've seen great performance on both. I think the quality, the crispness, and the autofocus and the stabilization has been fantastic. Also, with the 5X having that kind of periscope OIS system has worked pretty well, actually. So I've gotten some great photos and videos. You can see some clips and stuff playing here of me using that 5X, but it's been great. All right, so as I continue about the camera, this is the front. As you can see, it's pretty good. I'm here at Deer Valley to demonstrate the quality in ideal conditions and cold conditions as well. And looks good, right? I think so. Got autofocus on the front camera, and you got some people going. Looks good. HDR is looking okay, and it's in 4K. Okay, this is the same spot, but with the rear primary camera in 4K 60. Looks pretty decent as well. And yeah, looks good. So as you can see, this is also cinematic mode. Mic is pretty good with the standard main camera. You get pretty good depth of field without cinematic mode, but it looks pretty good with it as well. Some other specs of the phone, it has the action button, which has been great for taking quick photos and videos. It's way better than having the ringer because I actually use it almost every day. So you can even have it, connected to Apple Translate, so you can translate videos, translate a conversation in real time, real quick, just by pushing that button. Other things, this one has a 256 gigabyte hard drive. You can go up to 1 terabyte, but keep in mind, if you buy the Pro Max, you can only start at 256 and not 128. Now, it doesn't cost more than it would have last year, but it just means that you don't have that cheaper model of the 128 gig underneath if you didn't want to spend quite as much to get the 256. But I always get the 256, and so that was fine because I do put a lot of videos and photos on my phone, and so I think for most people 256 is what you should go for. I know it costs a little bit more, but it's definitely worth it. Now, here's some things I do like about the phone. I love the design. The blue is fantastic. I always said my favorite iPhone color ever was that Pacific blue on the iPhone 12. I had the 12 Pro Max. It looks so good, but this is better. So this is now the best. The matte glass on the back, the titanium that is also satin around the edges, looks great. It feels really good, and it feels lighter. That's actually why I stuck with the 15. And so I gotta check my mic. I recorded this whole video already, and it was muted, so big screw up. Anyway, so we had to come back outside in the cold. And anyway, yeah, the blue looks great. The titanium does feel a little bit lighter, and that's why I went with the Max this year. I've been going with the smaller model for the last 2 years just because I didn't want to deal with the size and weight of the Max, especially like in my gym shorts. You feel like going around everywhere. Like it's just like, it's not great if you put in like a phone mount. It's too heavy, it kind of sags, things like that. But this one seems to eliminate a lot of those issues. It's still heavier, it's still bigger, but it just doesn't feel as heavy, and it feels nice to use in the hand. It's slightly curved on the edges as well. It's not that rough edge, which was actually kind of nice, but this is a good medium between that little, like that pebble feel of like the iPhone 10 and 10s. So I like it. It's good. Design is fantastic. I did have the natural titanium color, which you can see in video linked somewhere here of the unboxing of both. So if you want to see what that natural titanium color looks like, click there. But I was undecided when I purchased them what color I wanted to stick with, and this was the one. I have no regrets. I usually have that buyer's remorse every year about did I get the right thing or not. This year, none at all. I think I got the right size and the right color. It's fantastic. Now, some other things I do like. The screen is so good. It looks great and gets very bright in direct sunlight. So using it outside has been no problem at all compared to iPhones in the past. Some other things, it's actually really convenient, again, having that USB-C cable, because now I know it's a whole thing like, oh, they should have done it before, and they didn't, but now they were forced to. Either way, I'm glad to have it. Just one cable for all my devices. So it's been really good, especially for traveling a lot like we do. Just eliminating things I have to take with me has been fantastic. So now the only other cable I have to take is my Apple Watch charger, and that can charge AirPods now as well. So we're all covered. And the new AirPods have USB-C, which is another video I have filmed here. But in any case, there's a lot of good things about this phone. I think the battery life is good. I use the phone pretty heavily, and so, oh, we got some snow. It's pretty heavily, and so I do have to charge it every day, and there's days that it might run out at the end of the day, but I think if I'm more careful with it, I'm not taking too many videos or photos, I could last 2 days if I'm traveling and I really need it to last. You can do it. I will say using 5G does use a lot more battery life than if I have it on Wi-Fi, so keep that in mind as well. All right, let's talk a little bit about what I don't like about this phone and some problems I've had. So when this phone first came out, and I did do a video on this about how the phone would overheat a lot when charging or using the camera a lot. It would get really hot. That is kind of still an issue. It does get really warm when charging or taking a lot of videos. So just keep that in mind. It does get warmer than previous years. Now, has that really affected performance when I really needed it? Sometimes, yes, it has. And so just it's something to know about. Maybe it's just my phone because it's an early one, but it's something I've had to deal with, so I just want to be transparent with you on that. Some other things, the camera. Sometimes when I want to use it, it just shows a black screen. In some critical moments, when I've needed this camera to work, it has just shown me a black screen and will refuse to work even if I lock it and try to go back into the camera app. It will still stay black. So I just have to restart the phone and ask Claudia for her phone so I can take a video or something. So that's been really annoying at times. Some other things, when transferring videos, 4K videos, to an SSD, an external SSD for me to edit on my Mac, I've noticed that sometimes it will take forever to just process the video so that I can save it to the files of that SSD. Like literally half an hour or 40 minutes at times. And I realized that if I just stop the process, restart my phone, do it again, it will work much faster. But that is a really weird glitch. I don't know why that happens. I hope they fix it soon. Another thing, I know I talked about battery life before. I'm talking about it again in the section of I don't like. So I don't like that other people say that this thing will last like 2, even 3 days on one charge, and I've never seen that. I've only seen, like, if I'm traveling, it will last me from one day to the next, and that's out of necessity. But I don't, out of my normal use, I can't get 2 days. No way. My Apple Watch, on the other hand, will get 3 days, no problem. But this one, not so much. And another thing, so a lot of people were nervous about the finish on the titanium going away after some time or getting scratches pretty easily. I haven't noticed scratches on it, and I don't use a case on my phone normally. But what I've noticed is just from like putting it down on a table and stuff, over time, where the glass meets the titanium on the back, it's kind of starting to wear away the finish, kind of like what you would see on like the edges of a MacBook. So that's a bit concerning since it's only been 3 months, and I'm starting to notice that, where you kind of see the raw metal. It's very faint, but you do see it if you look for it. So if I see it now, I'm just worried about what that might look like down the line. But other than that, I think this phone is great. I think if you have anything before maybe a 13, well worth the upgrade. If you have a 13 or 14, just wait. Just wait another year. It's not worth it. But I think this phone is fantastic, especially for me as a creator. It's kind of weird to call myself a creator. I feel like I'm not that creative, but I'm trying my best. It's pretty good. It's really great. It's my one device I use for everything. A lot of times I don't even have an external mic, and I'm able to use the mics in this phone, and it's fantastic. So I think it's really like a 911, where the design is not changing so much now, but it's just getting refined and it's getting perfected, and it's really in a good place. I was always an Android guy, then I switched to iPhone and I get it now, but there's some really interesting things on the Android side, and I think if I wasn't stuck in the Apple ecosystem, I would probably have a Galaxy Z Fold 5, but so is life. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Many more videos to come, like why GS and Apple are in a really bad place with the Apple Card. Stay tuned. Lots of great videos coming. Like, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.